event, and this place is really starting to fill out with lots of onlookers and just folks that want to come see these beautiful vehicles that are lined up in front of us and all around us. We're situated just on the north side of Highway 90 here on the beautiful Mississippi Gulf Coast. We're pleased to welcome now Jimmy Ladner, immediate past president of Coastal Mississippi Tourism Board. Jimmy, always good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Good to see you, Gerard. Thanks for coming back to the coast.
Well, it looks like another great cruising of the coast is underway, and it's just amazing at the number of people that have come to the beautiful Mississippi Gulf Coast to take in the sights and enjoy the shops, of course, the hotels, the restaurants, the hospitality, and these beautiful classic automobiles.
We're full from one end of the coast to the other.
That's fantastic.
I was telling them I was in downtown Bay St. Louis last night, just rode through on a golf cart, and it's wall-to-wall people. You'd have thought it was our first day of official cruising, which isn't until Thursday.
Man, it is awesome. We got the report from Woody Bailey, of course, the executive director of Cruising the Coast. He informed, and so did Judy Young, the CEO of Coastal Mississippi Tourism, that the economic impact is in the $33 million range for the Gulf Coast counties, but $36 million overall across the state.
Oh, absolutely. Last year, I was actually in North Mississippi for one of the days cruising was going on up in Noxubee County, and one of the stores that we stopped at had people standing out in front of it watching the cars coming down Highway 45. So it is a statewide event. It's primarily here on the coast, but it affects the whole state of Mississippi.
And draws people from not only all over the country, but internationally as well. Woody informed us that first time in the history of the event, we have a visitor from New Zealand that's on hand today. How cool is that?
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Coming to the great state of Mississippi. We're doing well here on the coast. I mean, every time I come down, Jimmy, which is fairly frequent, I think I've shared with you, my wife, of course, from Biloxi, and we still come down quite a bit. Lots of different events, of course, always being held down here on the coast. And every time I come down, it just looks like there's more building, more construction, more expansion.
We are doing well here from all three coastal counties. In fact, I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today. You know, our neighbors to the east of us are fixing to go through something we went through pretty close to 20 years ago. And I think we're an example of that can be survived. So I hope we can reach that out with a prayer and let them know that, hey, you know, there is going to be life after today over there.
That's a good point, because anybody that is where we're sitting right now in 2005 in August after Katrina, you really wouldn't have thought it had come back the way it has, would you?
You would not have. I mean, there was conversations at that time that it could take 30 to 40 years to see the coast back, and maybe not even back where it's at now. So we've had a lot of hard work here, a lot of good folks that have invested a lot of time and money and energy here. I can't help but say that we have a really good state leadership at the time, and since then, and all of that's paid off.
Yeah, and as you well know, folks stayed. They rebuilt. They didn't say, I'm out.
Folks didn't say they're out. They stayed. They rebuilt. I mean, we're resilient folks here on the coast, and again, we're ahead of schedule, I think, and with good days ahead of us.
Yeah. The economic development projects that are occurring here on the coast, anytime I talk to the mayors of the various cities down here, they always got something going on. Anything in particular that you got an eye on?
We got a couple, some really strong ones that we're hoping to be able to make some announcements about in Hancock County real shortly. I'm just a little ahead of the curve right now.
I get it, yeah. Can't disclose that, but you're working on it.
We got a couple that are really going to be strong, and we'll be able to announce something soon, we hope.
Well, you got all the ingredients, all the elements here across the coast for a very high quality of life. You've got great health care, great education, great infrastructure, lots of amenities, great weather. You got the beach, you got these events.
I tell you, we do have everything it takes. We've got the right mixing pot here, the right mix. Our education system here, you know, all three counties have good school systems. We have good private schools as well. You know, we have a couple of universities here. Southern Miss is located here. We have William and Carey that's here.
Gulf Coast.
Pearl River Junior College has a campus in Bay St. Louis. So we have a lot of education opportunities here, and good, strong economy. You know, we've got the shipyards on the east side. We've got Stennis on our end that, you know, I hear people talk about being the bookends, and that's very true.
Yeah, it's a good point. So, and speaking of the shipyard, I believe we're just awarded another contract, significant contract, right?
It's my understanding that Ingalls was awarded a very good contract.
I believe the state's largest employer, private sector employer, if I'm not mistaken. 12,000 employees.
That is true.
And many of those commute from our neighbor to the east from Alabama, Mobile, come into our state, and they spend their money in our state when they're here.
Spend their money here, and we like that. We like that.
Well, that's totally awesome. So, have you been coming to the Cruisin the Coast event? Is this something you regularly attend?
I attend regularly. I got to be fair. I don't cruise. I like to look at old cars. I've never been one that was actually, into the rebuilding and stuff. I appreciate the effort those guys do, but
it's fascinating.
But sure, I mean, I've got some very good friends that do it, and it's a second job.
Yeah.
I mean, so I've never spent time doing that, but I love making the trip from one end of the coast to the other. I mean, it's something that showcases all 3 counties, all 12 cities.
Yeah.
The differences in them as well as what keeps us the same.
Yeah, it's a good point. And Woody Bailey, talking to him earlier, of course, he and a number of other coastal residents had this vision, had this idea. I don't think they had any clue it was going to be as big as it is today. That's usually the case with stuff like that.
And a lot of hard work, but I would think that it would have been hard to think that it was going to get that big.
Yeah. And now renowned within the community of automobile enthusiasts, classic automobile enthusiasts, is renowned as one of the best, if not the best in class in the nation.
Without a doubt. I mean, folks come from, well, as we said, we've got people from all over the world here as well as all over the country. So.
And a lot of those folks, especially from other states, come in here and they like what they see. They like the people. They decide to take up residence. I've talked to people that have done that.
I've talked to people. Last year, right here, I talked to a couple that had met here 15 years ago, and every year they come back. They got married, met here 15 years ago at the cruising events, and every year they come back for their anniversary.
That is totally awesome. Yep. And really tying the 3 counties together, economic development, tourism in general, it's become more regional. It used to be a little bit more localized. It's more regional now, isn't it?
It's absolutely more regional. There was a group of folks that had a vision on doing this. To be fair, it started right after the BP oil spill. We had it was a tourism partnership at that time that sort of morphed into the Regional Tourism Commission, and it's worked well. I mean, I think sometimes folks forget we've got 27 to 30,000 people that depend on tourism for their livelihood.
Okay.
So it's a huge economic impact to us, and especially to those people that's how they make their living here.
It makes total sense, and it's not as effective when it's kind of siloed and really restricted to smaller areas. When you do it across the entire region, the results are a lot better.
A lot better. And our competition, that's how it's done. I can remember when this was first being looked at, and I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but I bet recently, but I bet they'd be the same. I think of the 27 markets we competed with, 24 of them at that time had regional entities that handled their tourism.
We're starting to see even just dedicated economic development authorities, agencies, and so forth. They, too, are adopting this idea of regionalism.
Without a doubt. Take Hancock County, the couple of projects that I talked about. There's no way we could fill the number of jobs just out of Hancock County.
Sure.
So we need our help from our neighbors to the east, Harrison and Jackson County, and to North Pearl River County. It's a team effort, tourism, economic development as a whole. And
don't you find, Jimmy, in terms of economic development, that when you're courting and recruiting prospective businesses and investment, they kind of like the idea of the scale that they're dealing with, a larger group.
But look, when you go out and you're seeking these folks to come build in your community, quality of life issues is a big thing.
Big.
I mean, when they start talking about you, they don't want to just know about your education. Certainly that's important. They don't
Sure.
want to just know about your restaurants. They want to know everything.
Yeah.
What are my folks going to do on their days off? Is just as important, and we here on the Gulf Coast are fortunate to be able to offer a lot of that. And
the thing I think we've learned across the state with some of the projects that have been landed as well in recently is that speed to market and being able to cut through all the bureaucracy and the red tape is very important to these people.
Without a doubt. I mean, we constantly strive on the coast, as in our county and on the coast as a whole, have shovel-ready places to locate these places, because having that being able to get on the market in a year ahead of time means everything.
It's the difference between winning and losing out to someone else in another state, another location that can offer that.
Without a doubt.
I think the state's doing well there. We've got so much good stuff going on, and I think we're all going to benefit from that as well. Anything else in particular that you think we need from our state legislature, Jimmy, that leaders are working on here?
Our legislature has been good to us in Hancock County. We've got, in the last 5 years, $112 million worth of economic development projects that's come to us.
Significant.
A county of less than 50,000 people. That's good.
Yeah.
So keep funding the projects that they've come. Certainly infrastructure. I heard Mayor Fofo on earlier talking about sewage and water. We've got some infrastructure issues in Hancock County because with those economic development projects come the growth, and we've got to accommodate that. So I would think that that's the one thing that we need from the state level is to keep sending that money down so that we can put those water systems in, those sewage systems in, and have places for those folks to go.
Worthy investment. Jimmy Ladner, immediate past president of Coastal Mississippi Tourism Board, has been our guest. Always good to see you, Jimmy.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming on.
Take care.
Folks, we're taking a break right now. The Element Wealth Studio is at Cruisin the Coast. We're coming right back with the final segment. Stay with us.